Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You are listening to And Another Thing. We are Joella and Helene, and this, believe it or not, is episode 15.
That's crazy. Oh, thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like 15 is a good milestone.
A milestone's always in fives.
I think a milestone's just whatever you want to make it, really.
Well, like in ages, I'm 60, and then you do. No, I'm not 60, by the way, but you are 60. Just say, and then you do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
La 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 la, and then 5. Woo! I'm 65. I've got to have a party, and then you get to 70, 75, 80. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then is 15 a milestone number?
No, in England it's 16, sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find
And then
milestone
21.
numbers. We have 21 in New Zealand as well. Is it a drinking age in England?
No, that's before then, but I don't know why.
What's the drinking
You get the
age?
key of the door or something. Or is that a wedding thing? I don't know. I don't know why 21.
Okay. What's the legal drinking age in the UK?
Oh, it's a really good question. And we just looked this up recently.
Is it 18 or
and
19?
Now I can't remember. It's 18.
It's 18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's 18 in New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
But somehow 21 is the big...
Yeah, I don't know what
thing.
that is. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's not the case here.
No, it's not the case here.
I don't know what the big birthdays are here.
Oh, okay. So milestone numbers are typically round numbers, like 10, 25, 50 or 100, that mark significant points in a process, project or journey. So basically, we can just call it a milestone number because it's, what does it say? It's a significant point in our process,
Okay.
project or journey. There we go.
Perfect. We're at a milestone number today.
Number 15. And with that, let's talk about our week, shall we?
Yeah.
Woo, what a week.
We're back to Thursdays doing the podcast.
Doing our recording.
Doing our recording, beg your pardon, yeah. So we didn't do anything after we recorded the last podcast, I don't think, like until the beginning of this week. And then it's been like, oh.
Yeah. I forget that I literally got off an aeroplane about 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
because we went to a concert 2 days after I arrived
Yeah.
and then we recorded and then we recorded
Yes.
and that was last week.
Yeah.
And then this week, what did we do? We went to a concert on Monday night and then we went to a concert on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
2 concerts back to back.
Yeah, it was bad planning. I didn't realise
Well, it wasn't
when
planning
No,
at all.
No. Well, the
was-
first one kind of was, and then when you were away, I booked the second ones because I found some cheap tickets, and then
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, 2 in 1 week." I'm like, "Oh, flipping heck!" So the first one was I wanted to go and see the Scissor Sisters, and they were opening for Kesha.
Although, do you want to rephrase it how you've said it the
I've
last week?
said that it was the Scissor Sisters concert, and Kesha was making an appearance.
Much to Jeremy, who works with us,
yeah.
dismay.
He's like, "It is Kesha's concert, you know."
Which, honestly, it was Kesha's concert.
Oh, wow.
Was it ever?
Those people, those fans are like something I have never heard or experienced before.
Never experienced a crowd of people so uniously loud.
Yeah, I don't know what that word
In unison.
In unison.
Yeah.
Unison.
I don't think unisonly is a word.
No, okay. I won't
Cool.
use it in future then.
No, don't use it in future.
So we got there, the traffic was terrible on the way in, and your GPS decided to send us somewhere that wasn't the right way.
Yeah, and I got furious.
Yeah, you got
And had to take a moment of just saying,
Yeah.
please don't talk to me. I'm very angry right now. I'll get over it, which I did.
You did. And then we had to park a bit further away because the usual car parks we park in were still closed from a big race that had happened in Toronto. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. We walked there. So it already started the Scissor Sisters bit, hadn't it? But we found a spot. I really enjoyed it. It's not Joe's cup of tea.
Well, no.
Not at all. But
I
I
didn't
remember
mind-
them from the 90s.
I didn't mind, but that only
No,
started
the
in the
2000s, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember them from the 2000s.
I don't mind some of their songs.
Mm.
Just,
It's not family friendly.
it really was not a family-friendly show.
No.
And, yeah, that just wasn't my cup of tea. Which was okay.
Which is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
You did. You
And
were having a
then,
great time dancing behind us.
Yeah, I was dancing. You were sitting down. I knew you were, like, this isn't Joe's.
No.
And then Kesha came on with her doll's head and she sung TikTok first of all, which was good because everybody knew the words, but it was so loud.
It was. I took a video of the beginning of her song, and even then when I looked back at it the next day, I was like, you actually can't get the sense from just that video how incredibly loud it was in that night. And also it was an open stadium. So even as we were leaving, it was still incredibly loud.
Yes.
We could hear her as we were walking away.
So we didn't stay for the whole of that concert.
Nope.
But it was, I'm still glad, I'm glad to have experienced that. I don't think I've been to a concert that is full of younger people, mainly all young. Because when I went to see Harry Styles, it was a huge mixture. Normally the people I go and see are a mixture of young and old. But that was just pure. Do you know, they would have had the best night ever.
They would have had the best night. I was thinking about it the couple of days afterwards, and I was thinking how that evening had the vibes of, it was a club vibe.
Yeah.
And I realised also, I was like, yep, that's also why I was like, one song and I personally was happy to go, because I've never been a club scene person, and purely for the reason that it's not enjoyable for me. But everybody that was there, it was like, that was absolutely, they were in the element.
Well, I used to love it. I don't go anymore. I love a club, going out. Loved it. Anyway.
So that's what we saw on Monday night.
Yeah.
And then we had an absolutely turn of people groups.
It's like night and day.
On Tuesday night when we went to go and see Mr. Rod Stewart. Actually, he's a sir, isn't he?
Sir Rod Stewart.
Sir Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the calibre of people
it was
absolutely polar opposites.
Yeah, exactly. There was no glitter.
Well, there was.
Oh, actually, there's a little bit of shimmer.
We saw a little bit of shimmer.
Yeah, shimmer.
And that's what it was.
But Rod Stewart it was so good.
It was such a great night.
Yeah.
It was, he was a great performer. He's 80 years old, just in case anybody's wondering where he's at in his lifespan.
Yeah.
He's 80. We Googled while we were sitting there listening. He did so well with how he was on stage, and then when he needed to step off stage and do a costume change and probably just catch his breath.
Yeah.
The band that he had with him was phenomenal.
Yes.
And the backup singers were also, they just kind of took the stage for a song, and then you didn't it was so smoothly done. It was very
It was clever.
Yeah.
You're like, you didn't all of a sudden think, where's Rod gone?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's he doing? Having a cup of tea, a little sit down?
Yeah. He was on for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Or probably a little bit longer because he came on early.
He came on early and then we left
about 10:30
because that was going to be a rough. Get out of there was going to be very slow.
Yes. What did we collectively call them? Was there a name?
Yeah.
Because I asked you that question.
It began with an R, funnily enough.
Randy's? No.
It wasn't.
Wasn't a Randy. Anyway.
It might come back to us.
I asked Helen while we were sitting there if you could collectively name this group of people, what would the been
Rays. I said Rays, didn't I?
Yes. A lot of Rays.
A lot of Rays there. Or it might have been a lot of, although he's not Scottish. I thought he was Scottish because of the tartan, but his dad was Scottish. And there's a lot of people, there was a little bit of tartan there. I was expecting more.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. But there's bagpipes.
There weren't actually bagpipes on stage.
No, I thought that they would have done that. Yeah. You know, when I heard it, I thought that was going to be coming, but...
They did have a harp on stage,
I know. Though. And the people that were with them were just so good at entertaining.
And so musically talented, and some of the instruments that they were playing, and even just their vocal range was very amazing. Yeah, so that was Tuesday night. And then neither of us worked on Wednesday, and I think we both felt it.
Oh my God, I really did. I dropped one of my kids off at the airport early. Then I had to pop into work. And then I went home, and it has been one of the only times where there has been nobody in the house recently. Then I just laid down and fell asleep. But it wasn't really a nap.
Because how long was it,
Helen?
Helen?
4 hours. Well,
4
Amy
hours.
said, was it actually 4? Because if you did this, so it was between 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It must have been because it was so quiet and just needed it.
So relaxing.
And then I slept again last night.
Nice.
For 8 hours.
Fantastic.
It's like, what the hell? Anyway, so that, obviously we can't go out 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row. So I think it was on our way there that we were talking about drive-in movie theatres. So this is a bit of a segue because when we got home, I was looking at drive-in movies because I was like, that's not a thing that we have in New Zealand. I'd never experienced going to a drive-in before.
No, I've never been, even here.
No, you haven't. That's what we were talking about. And so every year in the summertime, I've tried to go to the drive-ins at least once, and I didn't go last year. And so I was looking at what was on, and I was like, oh, maybe I could go this week. And then I thought about it, and I was like, because it doesn't get dark until around 9:30, that's when the first movie actually starts. And I was like, this is why I haven't actually gone in about 2 years, because the movies don't start until 9:30. The closest drive-in movie theatre for me is 40 minutes away. And then you finish that one, and then there's another movie that plays afterwards, so you can stay for 2 if you'd like,
No way.
which by that point, I'm not getting home until like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and goodness gracious, can't do that 3 times in a
Well,
day.
you
in a
said
week.
to me about that, and I said I couldn't go to a drive-in movie. I just think I'd sleep through the whole thing because I sleep in regular cinema sometimes.
And regular movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
So does your mum.
Shall I tell the story?
Yeah. Honestly,
Sorry,
I
Mum.
just have to say, Joella's mum, I'm with you. If you're cozy and snuggly in a nice, comfortable seat and you've had a busy day or you were up early.
It wasn't a busy day.
Was she not up early anyway?
Yeah, she is. So when I was in New Zealand, my mum and I went to go and see the last Mission Impossible movie. I grew up with my dad loving those movies, and I also really love them, so does my mum. So we'd watched the last couple together, went to the movies, sat down in the theatre, which was really lovely, and I showed you a picture afterwards, and you were like, well, no wonder she fell asleep. They look like super comfy couches, and they were, because they were couches
Yeah.
in the cinema. And so my mum just got really comfortable, and within probably about 15 minutes, my mum started to nod off, and I could hear her breathing change from like the listening breathing to the I'm about to fall into a deep sleep breathing. And so then I'd nudge her every single time, and she's like, yep, I'm like, yeah, okay. And then
There's
there was
no
a
way
point,
she's keeping her eyes open again
no,
after that.
but I will say, in all fairness, there was zero air conditioning in that movie theatre, and it became very hot.
Yeah.
And it was very, very warm because it was a full theatre as well. It became a very warm room. And then there was another point, probably about half an hour or 45 minutes into the film, I start to hear, by this point, I thought to myself, you know what, if you want to spend however much money on a ticket to fall asleep, have at it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm going to enjoy the movie.
I have to say they are the best sleeps.
And so there was a point where all I heard was,
Big snores.
and I was like, okay, this is the point that I'm going to wake you up because other people can now hear the fact that you're asleep. Oh, it was too funny. And then she said to me afterwards, she's like, I thought you would have like whacked me more. And I was like, well, by that point, I was just annoyed at you. She's like, if you want to fall asleep, you can fall asleep. I don't care. It's just when you start snoring in the movie
And then you'd be
theatre that I'll nudge
disturbing
you.
everybody else. I fell asleep in the Lego movie. I'd been working in the morning and we took both the kids and we were all there and I was cozy and I was tired and I just closed my eyes for a second and then like, oh, it's nearly finished. Wasn't that bit good? Wasn't that like, I have no idea.
Do you know
I
what?
fell asleep.
Maybe you and I have gone to the movies to see If together, but you probably just fell asleep.
I honestly think you need to remember who you went with because I really think I haven't seen that movie.
We have an ongoing debate at the moment because
I really wanted to see it.
You really
and
wanted
I
to
think
see
you
it.
said you were going to see it and I'm like, oh, I wanted to see that.
yeah, I know I have definitely seen it. I went to the movies to go and see
Who
it.
went with Joe to see this movie?
It'll be one of my nieces because I don't go to the movies
Right.
usually with anybody else. So nieces of mine, I know you listen to this. Did I go to the movie If with you?
Yeah, put me at my misery.
Any other friend that I might have magically gone to the movies with that also listens to this, let me know.
Yeah.
Did we go to If together?
Because I'm beginning to think I've lost my mind because I don't remember anything about this movie.
That's okay. I know for certain I went. I think I went with somebody. I don't know who with. I could have gone by myself. I definitely have done movies by myself before.
Would you? I don't think you'd have gone to see that by yourself.
Anyway.
Anyway. But I need to backtrack a bit.
Yes, backtrack.
Back to Rod. Because
Oh, yes. Yes, please tell the story. I'm so glad you backtracked because I would have absolutely forgotten until I was
there's
editing
two
this.
stories. We obviously did a little bit of naming, but not that much naming of other people. We named Valerie and Sue.
We did have Valerie and Sue.
And Valerie and Sue, just while we're on the subject of Valerie and Sue, they were going to have the greatest time. They were having a greatest time before Rod came on.
Oh, I just remembered the hot dog story.
Yeah, and then this guy.
Okay, can I pause you for a second?
Yeah.
For just as a recap, in case you haven't listened to prior episodes and you just just joining us for the first time, welcome. When Helen and I go out to concerts and shows, we like to give people backstories. So we actually don't know Valerie and Sue. This is just the name that we have provided for them on their behalf.
Yeah.
So carry on.
We didn't have a life for Valerie and Sue. We just like,
that was
that's
Valerie and Sue. Yeah.
And then this guy was coming along. It was extremely crowded on the lawn where we were. Like there was so many lawn chairs you couldn't get through. He'd gone to get food for his family, and he'd got his left arm out, and they were kind of stacked with hot dogs in little paper trays. Mm-hmm. And then he had something in the other hand.
He did.
So he's walking through trying to not step on people's mats and blankets. I said, "Oh, that hot dog's like it's
gonna fall on somebody.
It's gonna fall." And then the lady behind us went, "Oh, that hot dog's not going to make it." And then all of a sudden you went, "It's happened."
Well, because you turned around and you were talking to the person behind you.
About the hot dog.
And then I was, I don't think I was paying attention to the guy because I kind of turned around and I was like, "Oh, it happened." Because there was such a big kerfuffle around him. And I was like, "Helen, it just happened." And she's like, "What? It did." And so sure enough, his hot dog had fallen on Valerie and Sue.
There was all this hoo-ha. They had to pick it. I don't know whether Valerie and Sue got it on their clothing or whether it just went on the grass. But he lost the hot dog.
He did.
And I'm surprised everyone didn't cheer because they were all watching, knowing that this is no way he's making that back. I guess one of us should have just helped him out, but we just watched.
I mean, we couldn't have moved. To be honest,
that's true.
We were already elbow to elbow with people.
We really were. It was like we were sitting in the cinema there. It was like so squashy. But then when we stood up, it was fine. But the funny thing that happened yesterday, there was this family in front of us. They looked like such a lovely family all getting on. Mm-hmm. So I'd been watching them while Joe had gone to get yourself something to eat. I'd previously been watching them. And then you came back and I said, "I think that's the mum, that's the dad. They're the brother and sister." Mm-hmm. We were trying to work out the husbands and the...
And you'd said there was another couple that were also with the group but weren't there at the time.
Right. So
we were trying to figure out
who was who. Yeah. And I thought I'd figured it out because they had dark eyes. They all looked very similar. And she was very comfortable with who I then thought was her dad.
Right.
Right. And then the other couple had gone off. Anyway... So throughout us waiting for Rod to come on,
we were trying to figure out the family dynamics.
Yeah,
of
you and I had
this group of six in front of us, or slightly
discussion about who we thought. You carry on with it.
Well, and then there was a point where we were like, well, maybe they are brother and sister, and then that the other couple are another set of siblings with a spouse of some sort. Mm-hmm. And then you were kind of set on that, and then one of the women stood up to leave and then gave the other dude a smooch, and we were like, nope, definitely not her brother.
Well, basically, yeah. So the sister got up and then said, "I'm going to get a drink," or whatever, and then gave what we thought was her brother a kiss. And we were like, oh, no. Oh, now I'm confused.
Yeah.
Now we have to reset. But we think we worked it out. So we think it was in the end, just so that you know who these people are. We didn't give them names.
We didn't.
But there was mum, dad, brother. Daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law.
Yes.
But the daughter-in-laws got on very well with the father. They were obviously a really super close family.
Yeah.
Which was lovely to see. They had a lovely evening, everybody.
I'm going to concur with you on this one, that they were brother and brother with the parents and then sister-in-laws.
Yes.
So this is what we do when we go to concerts. We make stories for people in their lives.
And lives. Yeah. I'm so happy they enjoy themselves. They're all singing and dancing. And at one point... The daughter-in-laws had gone off, and there was the mum and the dad and the two sons, and I'm like, oh, what a lovely picture.
I just love the hilarity of this, that we're so certain about these people's lives. And they could just be absolutely wrong.
Yeah, but
it's just
there'll be forever that in our minds at the Rod Stewart concert.
And then you had old chatty Laura next to you.
Yeah, she kept commenting.
Yeah. Oh, nice. She was lovely.
Oh, she was super lovely. Yeah. And she'd say, oh, this is another terrible song. I don't know where we came. And then obviously it was a banger. And she said to me, have you ever seen Rod
Yes. Okay, this is the story that I thought you were going to tell, so you need to tell this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said to me, have you ever seen Rod Stewart before? And I said, I've never seen Rod Stewart perform, but I have seen him in Harrods before. Which I forgot to mention when we were talking about celebrity people.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk to him or anything.
No.
But we were on one of the floors in Harrods, and I was like, oh, that's Rod Stewart. And I pointed. And the person,
naturally, as you do.
Yeah, the person that I was with, like, put my arm down because I'm just like, looked like such a, ooh. And there he was doing his bit of shopping. He's quite small. He's a little person.
Right.
I don't know who he was with, but you could tell it was him because of his hair, but he was doing his shopping.
I mean, you could spot that hair anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That man has a head of hair on him. I don't know if it's real or not. I did wonder that the other night. I was like, is that all of yours? Because you're 80 years old, Pete.
Yeah, how?
And there was a mop of it.
Yes, because it might be a wig at this point. Sorry,
who
Rod,
knows?
it might be. We never know.
Still impressive.
It never fell off. It stayed on anyway. All his rocking and rolling he was doing.
And he didn't do that much rocking and rolling.
He didn't. He did a few leg kicks and a. I was impressed.
Yeah,
I was impressed. Had a good night.
It was genuinely a great evening.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance. We can now walk away and say to each other, we saw Rod Stewart live.
We did, and we got those tickets. They were a resale, which I've never. Resales are normally hugely expensive. Yeah. And I just went on to look while you were away, and I'm like, snagging those 2 tickets. Mm-hmm. That was a really good price for a night out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we've been up to. And I am watching my tea go cold.
Okay.
So I want to sip. Do you want to say what people ask you before?
No.
Afterwards?
I wanted to try and make a funny about you watching your tea go cold, and nothing came to me. So I just stared at you instead.
Haven't people asked you about our breaks?
They have, but I'm going to share that when we come back.
Okay.
So we'll take a break and we will be back. Alrighty, and we are back. One of the things that people have asked me before about our podcast is when you guys say we're going to take a break, do you actually take a break? And so for a moment, I'm going to peel the curtain back and say, yes, we do take a break. Sometimes, like we will usually start before we record with a hot drink of some sort. Both of us have tea today. Sometimes we alternate between tea and coffee. It's usually coffee if we start early in the morning. But most of the time it's tea. And then there are times where we've just gone straight into it and then realised we don't have a cup of something, so then we'll brew something in our breaks. Sometimes, like we just did now, we'll do a little bit of work talk because a message has come through while we've been talking and it's from a staff or from a boss or from something that needs to be dealt with. And so we just have a bit of a chit-chat of, oh, yeah, okay, we had to order that in, or we forgot about this, or there's this catering order. Or so sometimes we talk about that. What else do we do on our breaks?
We'll regroup about the next thing that we'd like to talk about. We make sure that we know what's coming up next.
So for
sometimes we have a wee.
Sometimes we have a wee. So for curiosity, if you're wondering what we do on a break, that's what we usually do.
Yeah. It's not very long.
No, it's not very long.
Except that time we went for a walk.
That's because we'd started at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Had an appointment, but normally it's just a little stop, a couple of sips of tea.
It is. We usually just bang the whole thing out in one go.
Yeah.
Another thing that someone has asked me is, do we plan our episodes or do we just talk off the cuff? And yes to both. Yeah. So we have a rough idea of what each episode's going to look like before we push record, and then we kind of just see where the wind's going to take us with the guidance of what we've written down. And sometimes we'll talk and then we realise that 40 minutes has gone and, oh, there you go, there's an episode.
40 minutes has gone and we haven't even done Milo's question.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have a Milo question today. I have to look in a minute in the next break.
So anyway, I just thought I'd pop that inclusion in there for a split second to let you know when we go for a break, that's what we do.
That's actually what we're doing.
We actually take a break.
Yeah.
Alrighty, go for it.
Okay. I wanted to just revisit last week a little bit. Last week we talked a bit about why we moved and how it made us feel, how home was not a place, it's like a feeling. And it stirred up some emotions for us, more than what you heard on the podcast, really, didn't it? We had a bit of a moment in our break.
In that particular break.
In that particular break from the podcast. But I don't want to leave our New Zealand and UK chat there, because there was a few other things on our list that weren't full of emotion. They were just things, the differences between the two countries and stuff that I want to go back to
And these are some of the difference that I noticed when I came back home. And they'll still pop up because much like any travel experience, you kind of remember stories a couple of weeks later and you're like, oh yeah, when I was away, I did this. And because you kind of forget when you come back because you're
and we
still
didn't do
living
them
in
last
it.
week because we got all wrapped up with other stuff there. We kind of moved on to something else. But yeah, let's go back to that. What do you have?
Okay, so a couple of random things. When I went back to New Zealand, I noticed how small the cars are over there. Mm-hmm. And I was curious. So small in the sense of there's a lot of, I'm just going to say hatchbacks and sedans, not a lot of SUVs or trucks. And I say trucks here for Northern Americans, but in New Zealand we call them utes.
Right.
UTE, utes. Also
not
stands
UTIs.
for... No, not UTIs. Also stands for utility vehicle, which is why it's called
that
a
makes
ute.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it's called a truck, which confused me because a truck for me is a big transport truck that has
that's
8
a lorry.
wheels. That's
for
a
me.
lorry for you, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Are they called what are they called here? Trucks.
like a 16-wheeler. I think someone will say a 16-wheeler or an 8-wheeler.
I have never heard that.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh. Yeah, they're also called trucks.
I think they're
not?
called trucks.
So then it's just confusing. You've got a big truck and a little truck. What are you driving? Anyway, so in terms of the roads in New Zealand, I just noticed how much smaller the cars were, and it just felt nice. It didn't feel as overwhelming being on the road. Come back to Canada, and the cars here are so freaking big. You're a one person and you're driving a big old SUV kind of car. Mm-hmm. So I was curious in the UK, what is it like in your experience going over, and do you notice it coming back?
There's a lot of small cars in England. Mm-hmm. First of all, they're more economical on gas.
Right.
And cheaper to buy, and I'm sure insurance is cheaper. So there's a lot of pluses for smaller cars. You can get all of the cars that you're describing, the trucks and some people, and the Land Rovers. There's a lot of, people have Land Rovers.
Right. That's a car that's built in England.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But the roads are much, much smaller, like much smaller. Like, so one of the roads here that is your lane is the same size in England, but it's for two people, like 2 lanes. Do you know what, did I explain that? Okay.
Probably, I think I understand what you're saying, but explain it more for our listeners.
So
just so
one
they've got a
half
visual
of
picture.
the road that you're driving on, I can't explain it any other way. So
one half.
Like, so here, there's, you're going this way. You're going forward and then there's people coming opposite you.
Right.
So there's 2 lanes in the road.
Right.
One of those lanes is the 2 lanes
is
in
the
England.
Entire road
Yes.
in England.
Oh,
so when
was
somebody's coming towards you, you kind of have to go into the ditch a little bit.
Yeah, you have to move
pass.
over. Not all roads, don't get me wrong. They're not
Right.
all like that, but there are a lot of very small roads. So for me, having a slightly bigger car when I'm there, I don't like it. We had one when all 4 of us were there, and I dinked this car. I just didn't. In the car, because the car parks are so much smaller. I'm like, I can't. I have to have my little Fiat, or like the Fiat 500s, which I have seen coming here. There's a lot of smaller cars now here. When we used to visit Canada before pre-kids, years ago, I used to find that all of the cars were really quite big. Like Scott's grandmother drove this massive car, and it was like a sofa in the front.
Yeah.
It wasn't a gap in the middle. I don't know. It was an old car.
Okay.
It was an awesome car, but
I was going to say, is that like a car
where the
from the
gear
70s?
stick is on the steering wheel,
Yeah,
it's a big tractor wheel.
Yeah. I know. I'm getting great images.
Yeah. Of Gran driving it too. It was so funny. She could hardly see over the wheel. So yeah, there's a ton of small cars in England. You can get the bigger ones, and they're annoying if they're on a small country road. You're like, oh, for God's sake.
Which, I mean, logically it makes sense. In terms of the respective countries, there's a lot more longer, open, wider roads here, especially when you're starting getting on those highways or the motorways or whatever they're called. Then, you're getting into 4 or 6 lanes worth of driving in the same direction.
And even us driving to work. I mean, it's not country roads as you experience and I experience. My sister's got this huge van, which is for Harriet to get her wheelchair in and out. But my sister throws that van around like
nobody's business.
Yeah, so when I used to
learn.
live there, I used to be able to whiz around all those country lanes and be really comfortable. But now I'm much more, this is tiny, just because I haven't done it for so long.
Yeah.
You lose that ability to
navigate
have the confidence
spaces.
to know your roads kind of thing.
So then moving on from cars, this is one that kind of also fits. People come to Canada, and I've seen more posts about this rather than actually interacting with people in real life where they'll say, I've come to Canada, and Canadians will measure things in time. How long, like how far away is this place? And they'll say, oh, about 4 hours. Where the people who are posting this are saying, or is it the other way around in kilometres? Now that I'm trying to say the story and ask the question, I'm mixing it. Damn it. This is like trying to tell a dad joke and then forgetting the punchline halfway through the joke. This is so terribly
This is just
sad.
like how I start a story, because then I forget if it's right.
Because now I'm getting confused because so basically, in essence, how do you measure how long it's going to take to get somewhere? Is it by kilometres, by miles, by the actual physical distance, or is it by the time it takes for you to get somewhere?
For me, it would be, it's about 5 minutes away.
Right. Have you ever measured the distance in kilometres?
No, but you are asking somebody that I don't do north, south, east and west.
Okay.
I do, if someone asks me directions, I say, oh yeah, it's probably about 10 minutes up the road. When you get to this set of lights, you have to turn left and then you'll see this and then you turn right.
Mm-hmm. And when you see the weirdly shaped building, that's when you know that you got to turn another right. And then
that's how I would describe it. So people here probably will be like, okay, let's ask someone else.
Cool, good chat.
Because, so you think that in New Zealand they say miles then?
No, first of all, we don't say miles, we'll say kilometres.
Oh, you're kilometres.
Kilometres and metres, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Not everything is...
No, but in measurement, that's it. But if you're saying how far away is this place, you'll say it's a 40-minute drive.
Okay,
You won't say it's 80 k's away.
No.
That's ridiculous.
No.
But I do find that there have been comments made about people coming to Canada and they'll say, how far away is this? And someone's like, oh, it's about a 3-hour drive. And then they find it weird that it's not said in, oh, it's, 80 k's away.
Okay. But you've just said...
This is terrible. Okay, we're going to move on. Alrighty, so that's a story that I've completely and utterly botched up and I don't remember most of the details, and so I've just done a dad moment. I do apologise about that. But what I am now curious about, whether I keep this in or not in my editing process, but as a listener, how do you measure moments or measure a driving thing? Is it by the kilometres or miles or the actual physical distance, or is it by the amount of time that it would take for you to get there? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, because you can't remember who says what.
I can't remember what. So if you would like to email us in, do so, pod.andanotherthing@gmail.com. Tell us where you live and tell us how you measure your travelling experience. Flipping this around, we're going to swift from timing to north, south, east and west.
Yeah, because I just touched on that. But when I first moved here, I realised that everybody uses the compass to describe everything. So somebody was putting up some bunk beds in one of the bedrooms and they said, I've put it on the north wall. Is that okay? And I'm like, sure. I'll find out which the north wall is when I go up and see where the bed is. No idea. Because at home, it's left, right, straight on. I wouldn't know my north, south, east, or, I wouldn't know where I was, apart from that I live in the south of England. And then when you go up that way, it's north. But you're going up. So you're going up to Manchester.
That is
down south.
That is the same in New Zealand as well. This is another thing I'm curious, though. They're both very small countries. So in New Zealand, I would have said I'm going north. But that's literally just because there's either north or south in New Zealand.
Right.
There's not a lot of east or west.
No.
In terms of the country itself, it's a long, elongated country. It's not a wide country. And it's similar for England as well. It's more of a longer country than it is wide.
Yeah, and then people say I live in northeast England or northwest England. Yeah.
Right.
After that.
But also I'm going up to see my grandparents, or I'm going down to visit.
Yeah. So if you're giving someone directions here, do you do left, right?
Absolutely, because I personally, when somebody says, oh, have you gone out east? I actually have to stop and think, north, south, east. East is right. Right is Nova Scotia. No, I've not been out east.
What's very useful here is that the lake is south. It had helped me initially when I first moved here to be like, okay, that's on the roads, because if you're dropping someone off at the airport as well, and you come out and it's like this road is north
east,
and
west,
and I'm
south,
so I had to have a little thing in my head to remember which way to go.
Because south was the lake, and so you're going down.
Yeah. But when I first started doing it, I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, there is a lot of north, south, east, west. You'll notice now, because I'm going to point it out to you, when you're leaving my house and you're going home, there is a roundabout that you get up to, and I've wanted to take a picture for it for so long, that the roundabout says south at the bottom, west to the right, and then east to the, like, the directions on the actual roundabout are compassly wrong.
Oh.
But it still makes sense, because if you do go in that direction, you are heading south.
Oh.
And if you do go that, it's so you'll have to have a look at it.
For it.
But it's very trippy, and I'm like, why is the wrong ones next to each other? But anyway,
okay.
I do not find my way around the world by north, south, east, and west, because
I don't find my way around the world very well. I'm very directionally
with your left and right
challenged.
anyway.
Yeah, very. I'll come out of a theatre and be like, which way am I supposed to go? Whoever I'm with, it's this way, Helen. Like, okay, but I'm just following people around. Can I just quickly tell you something about a compass that's in our town?
Yes.
Have I told you this? Yeah.
No.
Amy told me about it. So on the lakefront, sometimes where we have previously walked together, there's a big compass on the ground.
Oh, yes. No, you were telling me about this the other day. Yeah.
And if
Great
you
story. Carry
stand in the middle of it and talk, it echoes back at you. Right, you'll just say hello and it'll go, and you can hear hello. It's so weird.
That's
why
crazy.
That happens. Yeah,
That's
Amy told
very
me about
cool.
it, and I did it. Yeah. Anyway, so if you know where we live, which lots of people do, try it next time you go for a walk along the lakeshore.
Oh dear. Okay, I have two other things to go through really
Let
quickly.
me be quick. Yeah.
One of them is in terms of what the difference is between Canadians and New Zealanders and the UK is drying clothes. So when I went home, I was very aware of what the days were doing, because when I wanted to wash my clothes, I had to be aware of whether it was sunny outside or not, because I would wash my clothes and then I would hang my clothes outside.
Your mum doesn't have a dryer.
She does have a dryer,
Right.
but it's scarcely used.
Very rarely used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the day I actually did wash my clothes, it wasn't the best day outside, but I got the clothes horse out, which I call it a clothes horse.
The thing that you...
Clothes hanger.
All right, it's not a washing line. It's just something that you put up.
Yeah, but I put it out inside.
Yeah.
Because the fire was lit.
Right.
And so I put it in front of the fire.
Clothes horse is what I would call it.
Yeah. And then I put my clothes out there. Mm-hmm. Simply because I wouldn't have ever thought to use the dryer initially. No. I would figure out another way. And usually you would have just hung your clothes out on the washing line outside with the pegs.
Yeah.
And then brought them in.
A whirly bird.
A what?
A whirly bird.
Oh, the roundy one?
Yeah, I've got a roundy one. There's somewhere in my garden, there's a hole in the ground to put it in, but I don't know where it is anymore.
So coming to Canada, I was very taken aback by the lack of washing lines around. And I noticed them, like when I notice cows out in the field.
Yeah.
It's not really something that you see often here.
Not in Ontario.
No.
Not where we are anyway.
Yeah, not in southern Ontario. And so I realised that logically, again, season-wise, the summer is so humid that you don't actually dry anything outside. You're just sweating outside.
You're steaming it.
Yeah. And so the level of humidity, it's not going to dry anything. And then in winter, what stupid sod is going to put their wet clothes outside when it's minus 20 degrees? It's just going to freeze. And then so you only have like 2 window periods of spring and autumn really to kind of dry your clothes. So everyone here uses a dryer. In the UK?
What the same as it's washing lines.
Washing lines.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have dryers?
Not every house. It's not every house has a dryer. Mum doesn't have a dryer.
Right.
My sister does have a dryer, but she needs a dryer in her place, but she doesn't use it all the time. Mm-hmm. She has washing hanging out, but it's there for emergencies if they've had to wash something for Harriet or something.
Yeah. So then we briefly were talking about this the other day, and you mentioned to me that wasn't it illegal? And I was like, what? And you were like, yeah, I think it was illegal at some point to put your clothes outside in Ontario. And sure enough, I looked it up. And in 2008, there was a law that passed so that you could actually hang your clothes out, and it was
so
okay.
They said in 2008 you can now hang your clothes out if you want, but before you couldn't.
Which just seems utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there you go. And then there are some rules in some condos and apartments that you're not allowed to hang your washing outside because of aesthetic looks. or in construction areas because it might be a danger to the construction site.
Or have your big nanny bloomers hanging
I
up.
was like, goodness gracious. What an interesting world we live in.
And also using a dryer uses so much energy, so you'd think that they would be encouraging you to put it out. But then you have another job. You have ironing to do.
Right.
As a person that looks after a household, or you have to then, because if you get your stuff out of the dryer quick enough, you can fold it into your basket and there's no need. I mean, I'd have not ironed. When my dad comes over, he says, where's your iron? I said, I have no idea. I think I had to go out and buy an iron and an ironing board for him. When Scott was wearing shirts and stuff, he would use it. But my dad always gets the iron out. It's the only time it comes out, Dad, is when you're there. And I have to check if the iron's still working. But I remember in England, my mum, it was like a job. You'd iron all the time.
Is that a generational thing, do you think? Because I remember as a kid ironing my dad's shirts and his little handkerchiefs.
Well, because you didn't have a dryer, you'd have to iron them.
Well, we did have a dryer. We just never used it because it cost so much to run.
Well,
so it was just emergency based.
Yeah.
If there just rained for an entire week and you just never got your clothes dry inside. But yeah, I do remember that was one of my jobs as a kid to iron my dad's shirts.
I used to do ironing. Hated it.
Do you think that might be a generational thing though? Because who's using an iron these days?
I think that you'll find that most people in England will have to iron things.
Huh. I'm just thinking about, the young 20-year-olds who wear a suit and tie to work. Are they getting their irons out?
Well, probably they might just be putting the jacket over the top of a crease shirt, because I don't know.
I'm curious.
But you might be right, but I think it's still a thing. You have it in the laundry basket. You've got your pile of ironing to do. My granddad used to iron everything, handkerchiefs and everything. Handkerchiefs.
So good.
Oh, my dad still has a hanky. Can I tell you a story about my dad and his hanky?
Yeah.
When they went on holiday once, I can't remember where they were, but my dad's not a big drinker, but he'd had a few rums and he got his hanky out to use it and he shook his hanky and he fell on the floor. He fell over.
The force of his hanky made him fall over.
Oh, sorry, Dad. Couple of rums. Can't take him anywhere. Can't get your hanky out to use it. Shake your hanky and lose your balance.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, no, that's a good story.
That is so good.
So a few weeks ago, Jamie, we mentioned Jamie, and she emailed in, and in her email was a question for us, but I had to have a think about the question. The question from Jamie was, what's the best advice you've given and what's the best advice you've received? And I said, I don't know. I have to think about that.
That's a really great question.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie.
I give advice all the time, whether people like it or not. But I don't actually know whether my advice has ever resonated. Resonated? Is that the right word?
That's the right word.
With people enough for them to remember and say, one time there was this person that used to be my manager, Helen, and she gave me this advice and they've used it in their life. I've no idea.
I think you'd be surprised. I hope that you wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. What am I trying to say? You might be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised about the amount of people that you've impacted in this work environment because you are the work mum.
Right.
And there are a bunch of kids that I know seek your advice and want to know what you think. Or if you say something, then it's kind of like, oh, okay. I think
it would be nice if they had used something I've said and then, used it in the purpose of them living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I don't know, the best piece of advice. I mean, I always give people the same advice, you don't say something about somebody unless you're prepared to say it to their face. I mean, that's just advice I would give anybody. Yeah. And always and in the restaurant environment, well, just in life, actually, always treat other people like you would want others to treat your family. Mm-hmm. So if an older person comes in or a younger person or somebody with disabilities, you treat them how you would be expecting the world to treat your family member. And you would be absolutely devastated and really pissed off if they were not
treated well and with respect and dignity.
Yeah. So
that one's a really great piece of advice especially as a customer service person.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I always think about that. Mm-hmm. Even if they're the super annoying people that we have laughs about and moan about, I will have always treated them respectfully.
Yeah,
always, because I'd want to think that my mum goes out and is treated like that, or my sister or anybody. So,
And as much as we moan and complain and make fun about people on this platform, and even just outside of this platform and to each other, we do our best to treat people with dignity. And even when it is hard conversations, either with our staff or with our people of the public, we also always try and do it with dignity and respect.
Yeah,
because
that's what good human people.
You're a human being.
Human people do. Human beings do or should do, right?
Yeah.
What about you? Advice you've given? You feel that similar, don't you?
Yeah, pretty similar. This was one when I think I could have answered it pretty easily because the answer's still the same. Of I have no idea. There's a lot of times where I've said something, and my approach to advice giving is very much you can take it. I'm just going to put it on the table and it's up for offer. And if you'd like to take it, you can. If you'd like to leave it, hey, it's your life. You live with the choices that you want to make. I just want to give you an opportunity to think about something different than what you're currently stuck with in your head. And so I know that I've had some really great conversations with some of the kids that we've worked with, and someone came in, a couple of days after we'd had a chat, and they're like, I really appreciated that chat the other day. And I was like, I don't remember what the chat was, but great. I have had someone come back to me and just say, hey, I wanted to chat to you about this thing because this is what I'm thinking about in my life and I wanted your opinion. And I was like, oh, that's very sweet. Like that was a moment where I was like, oh, I was very humbled by that, of just appreciating the fact that people want to know what we think or
it's
whether.
Nice. I enjoy that with the younger people if they ask questions, actually, because you just feel like they generally don't have anyone else to ask or really value what we have to say. So it is kind of nice, I guess.
And I think what we bring too is an unemotional attachment to certain situations.
Yes.
So we're not parents of these kids where you kind of get hounded with, what are you doing with your life and why aren't you doing this with your life and you should do this, and being afraid to say, well, I don't know what I want to do and I'm scared to tell you what I want to do. And
I know.
We're just someone extra to kind of give a bit of, hopefully, guidance and wisdom.
Yes. It would be nice if you, when I think about my own kids, they probably feel the same, like by asking me a question, because they probably get what you've just explained, because
you should
you're
do this,
emotionally
or you should
attached.
do that, or,
and if they had somebody else to run things past, I mean, that must be quite comforting as a parent. That that there's, they've got someone else to talk to.
Yeah. Well, that's what our hope is anyway, just in life
what
in general.
We provide. Okay, so
thank you, Jamie, for that. And thank you for sending through that question, because it made us think.
Yeah, it's definitely made me think, because also the next one was best advice you've received. Do you have anything for that?
Not really best advice, more just people in the right place willing to listen and ask me challenging questions. But I can't pinpoint a certain thing where somebody said something and that has been like, oh, that's really stuck with me.
I have somebody that said something to me when I was in England. It was when I worked for Coffee Republic, and then it changed to Starbucks. So it's the same guy I've spoken about before.
Silver Fox, but also a bit of a dick.
Yeah. Never expect someone to do a job that you're not prepared to do yourself. And that is like, oh, that's so true. Because I've worked for people that are not prepared to do the shitty jobs, and you do it. And it's like, I would never expect somebody to do something I'm not prepared to do myself ever. So,
especially in a leadership role.
Yeah.
If you're just a subordinate of some sort,
you have to lead by example.
Yeah.
All the time. So if you don't do that, then you can't tell them, well, if you don't do that, you can't
expect
you're not doing your job
it
properly, because then you're going to say to them, don't do it this way, do it this way. And then you do it. You either don't do it or you do it completely different. So if somebody has made like a mess in the washroom or something nasty needs clearing up, I will always do it if I am there. I don't expect them to have to do it. That's not fair. I'm not going to say, someone's done this, can you go and clear that up for me? I mean, I will always do it. But obviously, by me doing it would hopefully mean that if I am not there, they would step up and do it. And also the other one that's really stuck with me is, and this is also one that you can give advice on, is it's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn your lessons, and that's how great things are made, by making that mistake. If you don't make mistakes, you can't learn from those mistakes and then move on. You have to make mistakes. So
you're very good when we have new people come through and they'll stuff up on something and then they get really worried about the fact that they've stuffed up on something. You're very good at creating a space where it's like, yep, you've stuffed up and you did it wrong, but this is how you do it better, and just learn from it. Like, it's okay that you've made the mistake. Our expectation from you now is that you don't do it again, and you learn how to do it better the next time.
And it's
but it's okay that you've done it.
Yes, well, of course, yeah.
But not everybody has that approach, but that's what you do really well.
Yeah, well, thank you, that's nice. But that's also something you should take in life. Mm-hmm. If you make a mistake and you fuck up in your life, then if you don't learn from it, then
you're just going to make the same one all over again.
So you have to learn from it.
Yeah.
So you don't do it again. But that's the advice I've received. Mm-hmm. And I tell other people, so.
I have heard you say all of those things, by the way.
Yeah.
I have used the one when I was teaching supervisors. Mm-hmm. I do remember this one moment where somebody didn't want to do something. And I said to them, it was just a younger person. I don't even know what the context was. And I remember saying to them, in life, if you ever want to be a leader, you need to do the shitty things so that people can see that you also do the shitty things. Otherwise, why should you ever expect them to do that themselves?
Yeah.
If they don't see you do it. And they have every right to say no if you're not going to do it yourself.
If you're a leader, a natural leader, you will do that without even, it's not something you can make somebody do. If you're a leader, that's what you're going to do in your life anyway, I think.
If you're a natural born leader,
if you're a natural born want to do that, then you're going to, let me clean up. I don't know. I think it's something naturally that you would do in order to lead your team to, I can't explain it anymore.
I hear what you're saying. I think also that it's not a given thing. So I think there are some people who want to be a leader or are put into a position but also don't know how to do it.
Yes, that's what I mean.
And so if they're willing to be taught, then they can learn that and then apply it. I still think that natural born people.
Yeah.
But I think there's both ends.
Do you? Because I think that when you're interviewing people for those kind of jobs, you have to ask the questions to see whether you think that they're naturally, they naturally have the answer in just easy conversation.
And I think if you're applying for a leadership role, you should already have that in you.
Yeah.
If you're, say, for example, our establishment, that's something that we can teach these people. And if they have it, and if they can be taught it, then they grow into a leadership role. And therefore, from there, they can take it with them.
That's true, because they'll be following the example of another leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think, yes, I agree with what you're saying, but I also think there's another side to it can be taught.
Yeah.
If you're willing to learn.
The only thing going off the subject now that I feel like is really difficult to teach people is sense of urgency.
Oh, yes.
You've either got that or you haven't. That's a really hard one to teach people.
Especially in the hospitality industry. Yeah. Sometimes you just get one speed wonders and, boy, they're a pain. When you get busy and you've only got one speed wonders on any situation, you're like, oh, okay, I've just got to put you to the side and just hitch it up to fourth speed. Yeah,
not their fault. That's just...
Yeah, they're just one speed wonders.
Yeah. And they are great little workers when they're
one speed wonders.
Yeah. But you can't make them go any faster. It doesn't matter how much you try.
No. That is the case. Alrighty, we're going to take a very quick break, have another sip of our tea because I think we've still got some left in our...
I have quite a lot left. I had a big cup.
On that note, we probably have a wee as well.
Press the button, yes.
We'll be back. Alrighty, and we're back.
We're on Who Does That or Why Would You Do That? And I don't have one.
No, you don't.
No, I can't think of one.
Completely utterly slipped your mind for the week.
Yeah.
My one is, I don't know, suppose directed towards set designers on films of why would you do this? Mm-hmm. So I watched a really low grade film the other day. Low budget, thank you. A low budget film. So I will kind of preface it with that. But this person walked into a cafe and it was kind of a rectangular shape. There were seats on the left-hand side, seats on the right-hand side. They went straight down the middle, got to the end of the cafe. There was the counter, which had a whole bunch of sweets behind a glass display cabinet, and then on top, more sweets. And then behind the counter was like an espresso machine. And then the person was like, oh, hi, Janice, here's your caramel latte with extra peppermint on top. And they're like, oh, thank you so much.
Sounds awful.
I just made
That's the
it
low
up.
budget.
And so then old Janice passes her changeover and then walks out. And I was like, where's the till at? I physically couldn't see on the screen anywhere in this cafe that the till was. And I was just like, I know that you're a low budget film, but I mean, seriously, who does that? Who doesn't even put the payment machine there? I was like, where are you putting that $3 for that latte there, love? Like, it was the strangest thing. I was like, what's happening? Can I be a set designer for when you want to design cafes? I would love that job.
When we had that movie in our cafe, they had an old-fashioned till, didn't they?
They did. We had our one, had it behind at the back.
Yeah, they took it out and then they put this
old-fashioned one.
Yeah, where the numbers flip up and not digitalized.
No, and that was also
That's pretty
a
cool.
lower budget film, but
a
higher budget because they had a freaking till
Yeah,
in a
they
cafe.
had a till.
This one here, I was like, what are you doing? Who does that?
You
Come
need
on.
to stop watching low budget movies.
Alrighty, well, since you don't have Who Does That, let's move over to
Milo's question of the week. If you were a shape, what shape would you be? I just went immediately to round because just no rough edges, just...
No rough edges. Well, do you know what? In parallel, the first thing I thought was, I'll be a star because there's a bunch of pointing edges.
Oh, a star, how funny.
That was honestly the first thing that just came to my mind. I'm like, I'm a star. I'm a bunch of pointy edges. But when you look at it, it kind of looks nice.
Yeah, it's very
Everyone wants to
pretty.
draw a star
Everyone
and you don't know
wants
how
to
to
draw a
because they're too complicated with a bunch of pointy edges. If that doesn't describe
draw
me,
a
I don't know
star,
what does.
It's 2 triangles when I draw a star. So you're 2 triangles.
Oh, that's a 6-pointer star.
Mm-hmm. How many points do you have on your star?
A 5-pointer star.
Oh, okay, 5.
Yeah. With the whole shoop, shoop, shoop,
Yep,
shoop,
yep. What was Milo?
So I asked Milo his one, and he said, I would be a rhombus. And I was like, what's that, Milo? And he's like, a slightly off-centre, no, not off-centre, but like a slightly tilted rectangle. And so he showed me a picture, and I was like, oh.
Honestly, that's perfect. Oh, that's funny. I can't think of any other shape. I've just automatically went to a circle, like a smiley face circle.
No edges.
No edges.
Well, I mean, it does have a one singular edge
Yeah,
of a circle.
but it's smooth.
Yeah. No bumpy corners.
No,
No spikes.
no. But, like if you... So did you match this to your personality? Obviously not your shape. You don't look like a star. But also I was going with my shape. Like it's just...
Right. Yeah. So
But
this
there
is
bumpy bits on my
this
shape.
is the comparison between you and I. You take it very literally in the
Yeah.
sense of you imagine yourself as a shape of a star because it's how you feel
Yes.
the shape of you. I take it to personality. I'm like, yep.
But you could be a lovely shining star. Like it couldn't have been... It might have been personality and because I shine bright like a star.
Wow. I mean, if that
But
was
you
the lyric, that would be great. It's not actually a star though, is it?
Shine bright
Bright
like a diamond. Oh, it could have been a diamond.
I mean, that's a great option because it's still pointy on all the
Yeah,
edges.
it's still pointy, but...
It's still pretty to look at.
Oh, beautiful. Anyway, what shape are you?
I'm going to go with star.
Well, I'm asking the customers. I'm asking our listeners. And some of them are our customers. When you come in and order your coffee, tell us what shape you are.
Oh my goodness, that tickled me.
You just answered the question again. I'm going with star.
I was like, what you asking me for? I've already answered. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Milo, we're really going to miss you when you leave.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to really rack up these questions.
He's trying to get us ready by saying, ask me a question. And I'm like, I don't know.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope that you've enjoyed yet another long
Hour-long
thank you
episode.
Yes, that's the one. Again, if you'd like to get in touch with us, tell us what shape you think you are or you think we are.
Oh, yeah, that would be funny.
Our email again is pod, P-O-D, just in case you didn't know how to spell the pod part, and another thing at gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram. It's and another thing podcast. For now, thank you so much and Have a good idea.